Santa Claus Has COVID by Renee Van Vechten. For Bernadette, the most talented elf. At the end of 2020, could it possibly get worse? Like a dumpster fire raging, the pandemic was a curse. In quarantine for Christmas would most everybody be, and that included Santa, who got COVID Christmas Eve. The story starts up north where operations were locked down, with elves in masks and distanced work in good old Tinseltown. The only ones who came in contact with the outside world were the ones who gathered letters from the little boys and girls. The problem wasn't that the cards or emails were infected. A carrier of mail had caught the virus undetected, and with a sneeze, those droplets found their way into the air, and to an unmasked elf who breathed on Santa in his chair. Exposure happened just a week before that Christmas Eve. On the big day, Santa woke up with a sneeze and then a wheeze. He tried to eat the treats and fresh-baked cookies on his tray, and when he said they had no taste, they knew it was doomsday. Mrs. Claus was notified of Santa's raging fever. She asked some elves to take the sleigh and go buy pain reliever. "See if you can get some of that wondrous new vaccine," she asked, and then she added, "and a lot more PPE." Elves went in search of the vaccine, but nothing could be had. They had to tell the world that things were looking very bad. They tweeted out a message asking for a little aid. "Help, Santa Claus has COVID, hit the earth like a grenade." The heroes were the doctors, nurses, and frontline support, who rounded up the needed things they wouldn't come up short. Donated gowns and shields and gloves and masks, N95, were loaded up, and that old sleigh was put in overdrive. "Santa Claus has COVID" was the message of the day. How much the parents worried, and the kids began to pray. What if? What if? The question swirled with much anxiety. Would Santa mend? And who would put gifts underneath the tree? Mrs. Claus in the North Pole had matters well in hand. She categorized and organized as if it had been planned. The heavy sleigh returned to cheers, and goods were given out. And in a flash, they filled that sleigh with presents for the route. The time had come, and all the reindeer lined up in their spots. The sleigh was gleaming, ready for someone to call the shots. Out strode Mrs. Claus into the snowy village square, decked out in red with big black boots and stardust in her hair. That superwoman took the reins, all ready for the trip. She looked around and cried aloud, "Okay, let's let her rip!" Off went the sleigh, up, up into the moonlit nighttime sky. Out went the disinfected gifts until morning was nigh. Back in Claus's village, elves were quick to spread the word. "Mrs. Claus has saved the day," the message would be heard. As for dear old Santa, well, he was a high-risk dude. The ventilator worked. It took him weeks to be renewed. Now, when you find those gifts all clean and tidy neath your tree, you can't be sure exactly which Claus made delivery. Well, happy Christmas, now that we can see the end in sight. Best wishes for a healthy new year and a Christmas night.